I call Dennis O'Rourke.
Mr Chairman, New Zealand First was going to vote against this bill at this stage, despite this being a very much needed piece of legislation and a long time in development. And the two reasons were the compulsory retirement of judges provision, but also the failure to reaffirm the principles concerning the rule of law and the sovereignty of Parliament. Now that we hear that that latter provision will now be reinserted into the bill, it makes it possible for New Zealand First to vote in favour of the bill. So I'm pleased to be able to say that, because we do think that that matter, the reaffirmation of the principles concerning the rule of law and the sovereignty of Parliament, are extremely important. And I'm glad to see, therefore, that they're going to be put back into the bill. Jacinda Ardern mentioned in fact quoted from the speech of Sir John McGrath, and I just want to add one more quote to that, which I think sums it up very well. And he said, quote, "It means our nation's commitment to the principle that all persons and all bodies, whether public or private, must comply with the law and are entitled to exercise all rights given them. It gives them. Upholding this principle is central to the role of the courts." So that, for me, puts it in a nutshell, central to the role of the courts. There's a lot more I would have said about that issue had the government not indicated that it will support SOP 602. But now that it has, I can move on to the other issue I want to talk about, and that is that New Zealand First does not support Section 132 regarding the compulsory retirement of judges, and therefore does support SOP 61. And there are four reasons for this. And the first is, it is actually ageism, clearly and unmistakably ageism. The government should be ensuring that people who are capable and who wish to work beyond the age of 70 are given the opportunity to do so. And secondly, under the Human Rights Act, discrimination on the grounds of age is in fact unlawful. It's unlawful for employers who may not contract for a fixed age for retirement age. Now, if that's the principle there, then it should be the principle everywhere. Thirdly, it is an unnecessary provision. Few people carry on when they are actually unable to perform adequately, and even if they did, the Chief Judge could and should advise and counsel judges in that position, and the bill could just have said that instead. Fourthly, the age of 70 isn't in fact so late in life these days for very many very able people that they are forced to retire at that age. And in fact, when you think about it, the huge experience of judges who reach the age of 70 actually makes them extremely valuable, and their expertise should not be lost if they wish to carry on. So New Zealand First believes very strongly in this. We oppose Section 132. We support SOP 61, and I call upon the government to give that a little bit more thought, because it is actually not the right thing to do, and they should agree with and adopt SOP 61. This will not, if they don't do so, that would not be sufficient in itself for us to vote against the bill as a whole, because it is a very important piece of legislation and one which has been a long time coming and is very much needed in this country. So with those comments, Mr Chairman, I will leave it there, but I do hope that in addition to adopting SOP 62, the government will reconsider and will now also adopt SOP 61.
Peeni Henare.